Hi friends, welcome back to Alaskan Homemaker. I'm Mary. I need to get some more sourdough English muffins made up. So this morning while I was feeding my starter, I knew that I needed 1 cup of starter for this recipe tonight, and I maintain a really small starter. So I went ahead and bulked up my starter this morning so that I would have the amount I need for my levain tonight for our sourdough English muffins. So let's get started. Okay, we need 1 cup of sourdough starter. It's nice and bubbly. We're going to stir that down. And I've got my 1 cup. Scoop this over. Here's my 1 cup measuring cup. Ooh, and that's perfect. Okay, and we need 2 tablespoons of sugar. We need 2 cups of milk. And we need 4 cups of flour. So I've got my big bucket of flour here. And I'm just going to give this a little mix just to get that starter broken up a little bit in that liquid mixture. There we go, that's pretty good. Okay, now we'll get our 4 cups of flour. This is a 2 cup measuring cup. Switch to this wooden spoon. We just want all those dry bits to be incorporated, and then it will sit on the counter overnight, covered with our silicone lid. There we go. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. It's the next morning and we're ready for our next step on our sourdough English muffins. It's all bubbly and wonderful this morning. Okay, in a little bowl, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're going to give that a good mix. And baking soda tends to have a lot of little clumps, so I like to break those up. Squish them and get that mixed thoroughly. Okay, we're going to sprinkle that over our dough. We're going to get this mixed in good. Wow, look at all those air bubbles. It's fantastic. Okay, we're going to get this out of the bowl and mixed up really well. If you don't mix the baking soda into sourdough really well, it leaves little really dark brown spots. So you want to mix that in really well. Okay, and that feels pretty good. We're gonna get a little flour down. If your dough is really sticky, the recipe says that you can add up to a cup of flour into the dough. Additional flour. So I'm gonna pull a cup out. It is a little bit sticky, so I'm gonna get a little bit of flour into there. This bench scraper, it's kind of flexible. I'll link this on Amazon, down in the links down below. It's from Amazon, and it's really great for sourdough things because recipes are usually pretty high hydration, so it makes it easy to work with the sourdough. You don't want a super stiff dough. You still want the dough to be nice and you don't want it to be dry. So you just want to mix in enough flour that you need without making it a dry dough. This feels pretty good. So I'm going to roll this out. You want it about 1 inch thick. And you can do the size of English muffin that you want. We like to have this size of English muffin. These make great breakfast sandwiches that you can put in the freezer and then have a quick breakfast for your family. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna start cutting out our dough. I'm gonna lower the camera so you can see better. Okay, and then I have 2 parchment paper lined baking sheets. And we're going to put a little bit of cornmeal down. I will link these baking sheets in the description below. They come with a lid so that you don't have to waste plastic wrap all the time. It fits perfectly over this. That way, while they're proofing, you don't have to waste a bunch of plastic wrap. Okay, here we go. Our first English muffins. And you want a little bit of room in between. And you don't want to twist the dough because then it kind of seals it and they won't rise up good when you're pan frying them. So you want to just go straight down and then lift them up. Fresh English muffins are so delicious. We love these. Our favorite thing to do is to make the breakfast sandwiches out of them for a quick breakfast. Okay, we're gonna re-roll these scraps out. We don't want anything to go to waste. This recipe makes a lot of English muffins, so it's really nice. You can get a big batch done. We got 16 English muffins, and I've been working from this flour, this cup of flour that I pulled out, so I barely used any in the dough and on the board to roll them out. We are going to sprinkle a little bit more cornmeal on top of each one for that classic English muffin. Okay, we're going to use our plastic lids and we're going to let these proof for 1 hour. These are really nice. They just snap on easily and come on easily. We're going to set our timer for 1 hour and I will see you in an hour. It's time to start cooking our English muffins, pan baking them. The cookie cutter that I use is 3.5 inches. I forgot to mention the size of the cookie cutter. And now we're going to start getting our English muffins into our pans. I've been preheating my cast iron skillets for about 7 minutes. And you want it on a very low heat because it's got to cook the inside of the English muffin and you don't want it to get burnt before the inside gets cooked. So here we go. I've got mine on at about a 2 and I've got this burner as low as it can go because this one always runs hot. I think I'm going to be able to fit 3 in this large one. So maybe 4. And we're supposed to roll these to a 1/2 inch thick, not an inch thick. Sorry about that. Because they do expand when you're cooking them. Okay, yeah, I think 3 is going to be good for this one. And then as soon as you get it, this is a dry pan too, there's no oil or anything. Put the lid on and then that traps the heat and that will help to cook the inside of the English muffin. I'm just scooping them up with this thin spatula and getting them into the pan. You don't want them to touch while they're cooking, otherwise they're going to stick to each other. I think I'm going to do 2 in that pan. And they're supposed to cook about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes and then we'll check them and see how they're looking on that side. I've also got a cooling rack over here ready to go to put the English muffins on when they're finished. We'll just set them on here. And our English muffins are stacked up, ready to be cooked. Okay, we're gonna check and see how they're doing on that first side. Ooh, it looks perfect. So now we're gonna flip those over. Ooh, they're quite sticky. You wanna try not to let them touch each other. Ooh, it looks like perfect sourdough English muffins. Yum. Okay, we're gonna flip these and then we'll start the timer again. Okay, this one is a little, I think I need to turn the heat up just a dab. You can adjust the heat on your burners, and I'm gonna set that for 5 minutes. Okay. I'm going to turn this one down just a little because our 5 minutes isn't quite done, but they're quite browned on the bottom. So we're going to get these out, and these feel done. Nice and fluffy. They look delicious. So you might want to check them as you go, just so they don't get too brown on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one. I'm gonna let that go for just a little bit on that side. But they look like they're pretty done. I don't know, they look pretty done. I think I'm gonna pull those two. Okay. Now we're going to get our next batch in. Okay, and I'm just kind of scooping under because they are very sticky. Let's see, I better get, so just get underneath there, and that cornmeal really does help. So it doesn't stick too bad. There we go, that one was a little easier. Our English muffins are all finished. Look how delicious and fluffy they are. They're wonderful. Okay, so now I have some cranberry banana jam that I canned up. My wonderful friend Kim gave me the recipe years ago. She's my berry picking buddy. And so one of these days I'm going to do a video on this cranberry banana jam. It's so delicious. My kids say, Mom, don't give away that jam. This is their favorite one. Okay, so we're going to give one of these English muffins a try. I've got some butter and some cranberry banana jam. Okay, so we're going to split this open. Ooh, and look at that. I actually have nooks and crannies this time. I don't always have nooks and crannies, but I don't mind. They still taste like English muffins. But this time I do. How exciting. All right. I'm going to get some butter on here. And some of this cranberry banana jam. I use Alaska wild cranberries for this cranberry banana jam recipe, and it's so good. All right, let's give it a try. You just can't beat sourdough fresh English muffins straight from the skillet. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please give us a like and a subscribe. It helps our channel to grow. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!